everyone. This is Sarvachan Verma. I am working as assistant professor at Ajay Kumar Engineering College, Ghaziabad. And today we are going to discuss a very important OOPS concept, which is called the overloading and overriding. Now, if we're talking about this is the concept of polymorphism. Polymorphism is a activity, we can say it is a process by which we can perform the same activity by calling the same function name, but the work done by a particular method is different. My question is that if we are if we are saying that the same function name perform the integer sum of three values, or we can perform the sum of floating values of two numbers. So if we're talking about other language like C language, which is called the functional programming language, in that language we cannot perform the same thing by the same name. Suppose we are performing the sum of two numbers and we are performing the sum of three numbers. In the case of C++, we have to move with the different function name or different method name. But in Java or in C++, there is a one beautiful concept which is called the polymorphism. The concept of polymorphism means we can perform the same activity, we can perform the different activity with the same name. But this is not applicable in C language. So now we are going to discuss the concept of overloading. Overloading means if the function name having the same name but the type of argument and number of argument are different, then we can say these functions are overloaded function. Take a very bit special care on this. Suppose we have one function which have return type integer and the name of function is sum, and it take two argument. First one is argument of integer type and second argument of integer type. Similarly, this is the body of this function. Suppose I am going to define some other function which are giving the sum of two number of floating type. The return type of function is float also. In that scenario, you will see here the function name is same, but the type of arguments and number of arguments are different. We can say these two methods are overloaded method. We can say these two methods are called overloaded method. Now suppose I am going to discuss operator overloading. Suppose we have three variables with name I, J and K, and these three variables are of same type, which is called integer type, then we can perform the sum, no issue at all. But suppose we have three objects A, B, C, which is the of class integer. Suppose we have three object of class integer, and if we want to collect the sum of the member data of the object A and B into the object C, so we cannot perform this activity. This is the activity, because these are the objects which is declared inside the integer class. If we're talking about IJK are primitive type, so we can perform the sum because these two IJ and K are the integer type, primitive type, so we can perform easily. But if we are doing this type of activity on object, immediately we will get an error. What is the reason? The reason is that because these operators, the operator plus, are capable to work on integer, to work on float, to concatenate two strings, but this operator is not work with the type of object type, because of ABC are object of which class? Integer class. To overcome this problem, so you can see here operator overloading is one of the features in C++. It assigns additional functionality to the existing operator. Suppose I can say when I calling the plus operator, this is the arithmetic operator. This is a type of arithmetic operator. When I calling this plus operator, immediately I will write a code. When I am calling the plus operator, immediately two file will be concatenate. Two file will be concatenate. Immediately two file will be concatenate. That is the operator overload. मतलब कहने का ये है कि यदि सेम ऑपरेटर से हम लोग डिफरेंट टास्क को परफॉर्म कराएं, दिस इज कॉल्ड ओवरलोडिंग. दिस इज कॉल्ड पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म. पॉली मीन्स मैनी, फॉर्म्स मीन्स फॉर्म, मैनी फॉर्म्स. एक ऑपरेटर से हम डिफरेंट एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म कराएं according to our need, according to our requirement. So we can say overloading and overriding concepts comes into the picture. Overloading is a concept which is performed earlierly, which is performed at the compilation time. Similarly, if we're talking about overriding, operations or activity will be done at the runtime. So that is the major difference between the overloading and overriding. Now, how to overload the operator? So basically this is the syntax how to overload the operator. First one is type of operator. Operator to be overloaded, these are the formal arguments, and this is the activity. This is the activity, we can say this is the activity, or we can say this is the operation जो ऑपरेटर को कॉल करने के टाइम ये वाला टास्क परफॉर्म होगा. तो दिस इज द सिंटैक्स इन C++ हाउ टू ऑपरेट, हाउ टू ओवरलोड द ऑपरेटर. You will see here inside this code, I am going to write a code for unary minus. It means जब भी मैं माइनस कॉल करूंगा तो मेरे साथ कुछ एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म होगी, और वो एक्टिविटी कौन सी परफॉर्म होगी? दिस एक्टिविटी विल बी परफॉर्म बिकॉज मैंने इंटीजर ऑपरेटर को वो किया है, माइनस को मैंने ओवरलोड किया है. तो इंटीजर क्या है? इंटीजर एक क्लास है. दिस इज अ क्लास, दिस इज अ क्लास नेम. ऑपरेटर जैसा सिंटेक्स में दिया हुआ है, हमें माइनस ऑपरेटर को ओवरलोड करना है. दिस इज द parameter passing. This is the parameter passing. So now when I am calling the minus, immediately this type of activity will be done. यहाँ पे 3 लाइन ऑफ का कोड लिखा है, ये 10 लाख लाइन का कोड भी हो सकता है. तो जब भी हम माइनस को कॉल करेंगे तो ये वाला पार्ट हमारा एग्जीक्यूट होगा. लेट अंडरस्टैंड दिस कोड लाइन बाय लाइन. यू विल सी हियर दिस इज द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ इंटीजर क्लास. A is the object of integer class and B is the object of integer class. Now, whenever this object will be created, immediately this is the constructor. और ये constructor कौन सा है? This is the constructor. ये constructor कौन सा है? ये constructor है parameterized constructor. ये कंस्ट्रक्टर कौन सा है? पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर. जैसे ये ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट होंगे, इमीडिएटली पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर विल बी कॉल एंड ऑब्जेक्ट ए के रेफरेंस में एंड ऑब्जेक्ट बी के रेफरेंस में. द वैल्यू ऑफ एक्स इज 0 एंड इन द केस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट बी आई एम पासिंग वन वैल्यू 5. This value 5 will be transferred to this argument and this argument will transfer this value to x. So in the case of B object, the value of x is 5. Similarly, in the case of object C, the value of x is -7. Hopefully आपको ये बात समझ में आई होगी. After that, I am calling C out, B equal. This will be printed. This will be printed. And what is the value of B? What is the value of B? अभी नहीं पता. अभी प्रिंट होगा B डॉट डिस्प्ले. जैसे ये डिस्प्ले होगा तो ऑब्जेक्ट B के रेफरेंस में मेथड डिस्प्ले कॉल हो रहा है. तो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ x? व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ x? x इक्वल, बट किसके रेफरेंस में? B के रेफरेंस में. x इक्वल 5 will be printed. Now you will see here a equal minus b. It means minus means this operator is already overloaded. In that case, यदि ये ऑपरेटर मेरी क्लास में ओवरलोड नहीं हो रहा होता तो ये परफॉर्म करता, जो b की वैल्यू है उसको माइनस कर देता. बट ये हमने ओवरलोड किया है. दैट्स व्हाई दिस पीस ऑफ कोड इमीडिएटली एग्जीक्यूटेड. This piece of code will be executed, and this is the inside this piece of code I am going to create one object of which type? Integer type. Immediately object will be created. What is the value of x? What is the value of x? x की वैल्यू क्या 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 हो जाएगी? b के रेफरेंस में x की वैल्यू जाएगी, तो यहाँ पे ये x की वैल्यू हो जाएगी हमारी 5 और ये रिटर्न करेगा वैल्यू मिलेगी a को. देन दिस विल बी प्रिंटेड. व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ -a इक्वल? दिस विल बी प्रिंटेड. तो यू विल सी हियर -a इक्वल x इक्वल -5. Then after you will see here again this piece of code will be executed. Again this piece of code will be executed, and you will see here this is the output of our code. So this is the example how to overload the unary operator. Again this will be executed. A minus a equal and a dot display. तो a के रेफरेंस में x की वैल्यू will be printed -5. Because this value will be written minus after calling this. So what is the value of x? Become -5. This is the -5. Then after c will be c dot display. What is the value of c? c के रेफरेंस में x की वैल्यू -7. Again I am going to calling a equal -c. In that case the value of a will become +7. So hopefully you got the clarity about this. So this is the concept of operator overloading. Which type of operator? Minus operator. This is the concept how to perform the different activity with same name. This is called the overloading. Now I am going to overload the plus operator. Similarly, you will see here inside this code, this is again we have class integer. Inside I have one constructor. Then after this is the code for operator overloading. Which type of operator? Plus. When this piece of code will be executed, I am creating the object A of which type? Integer class type. Whenever the object will be created, some piece of code will be executed, or this piece of code is nothing but it is called the constructor. In that scenario, we will see here this piece of code will be executed, and the value of a object A के reference में what is the value of x? X will become 5. Similarly, this will be printed a equal a dot display. A dot display this piece of what is the value of x? What is the value of x? A के reference में x की value 5. You will see here. This is the output. Then after, you will see here a plus plus, after again a dot display will be executed, the value become 6. Then after a plus plus a dot display, again the operator will be 7. We am writing the operator overloading. So this is the basic concept how we overload the plus plus operator. Overload the binary operator. Binary operator means which have two operands, which are performed with a two values. We can say two values. We can say which are you performing the. We can say this is the binary operator. Binary operator means, again this is the same syntax. Formal arguments, operator to be overloaded. किस क्लास में हमारा ऑपरेटर डिफाइन है, और this is the code when this piece of code will be executed when we are called the operator. Note that special member function used to overloading a binary operator require one more argument of the class type. This is because operator can operate on two objects. You will see here inside this code, A call overloading function and B is passed as a actual argument. Inst means in that case A is responsible for calling the method, and the value of B object will be passed the value to the parameter passing, which is the operator will be overloaded, where ABC has the object of a class. Let's see. You will see here inside this piece of code I have one class measure. This is the parameterized constructor of measure class. Now this is the operator will be overloaded plus. Now this piece of code will be executed. It means for the object M1, the value of fit and value of inches. The value of fit is 2 and the value of inches is 3 in the case of object M1. Similarly, in the case of object M2, the value for fit is 4 and the value for inch is 10. And in the case of object M3, the value for fit is 0 and the value of inches is 0. These are the three objects. Now I am going to print M1. This will be printed M1 dot display. Immediately this piece of code executed, the value of fit and inch will be printed in reference of object M1. What is the value of object fit of and inch in the reference of object M1? 2 and 3. Immediately we will get 2 and 3. And this is a minus sign. It is not a minus sign. It is a string which is enclosed in a double quote. Now, second thing, until this we will get this out. Now M2 will be printed. After that M2 dot display. This piece of code will be executed. What is the value for fit and inch in reference to object M2? 4 and 10. Immediately we will get this output. Now this operator overloaded will be called. In that case, I am already said A is the overloaded function and B is passed as an actual argument. In that case, the value will be supplied for fit and inch in reference to this object. In that case, all the value of fit and inch will be supplied in the case of object M2, because this is the calling function. So you will see here we have create one object T. T के reference में what is the value of fit? Fit equal fit plus M dot fit. What is the value of fit? M1 के reference से fit की value क्या है? 2 plus और जो value मिली है fit की 4. It means 6. And similarly inch. What is the value of inch in reference of M1? 3 plus, and what is the value of 10? 30. This will be inches and fit. If inch is greater than 12, yes, it is 13, it is greater than, then we have increment the value of this by 7, and the value of become inches minus 12. This value will be returned and we will get the sum equal 7 minus 1. This is the 7, and inch equal T dot inch, inch equal T dot inches minus 12. 13 minus 12. We will get 1. This is the 1. Immediately this value will be printed. So hopefully you got the clarity how we can overload the binary operator. In the case of binary operator, in the case of this value will be passed as an argument. The entire value of M2 object will be passed as an argument, and this is the calling object. So hopefully you got the clarity about this, how we can overload the operator in C++.